Hey guys, I'm Gavin and this is Back to Bush Outdoors. Today we're going to be reviewing the diesel heater, mostly see if we can actually get it working. So I ran into a little bit of a problem. I'll review it a little bit later. But long story short is that my battery pack has a little tiny bit of an issue getting the heater started. And I sort of figured out what the issue is, and I figured out a fix for it. So right now we're just going to try and get it started, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I got it up and going. Everything seems to be working pretty good. There is a sort of a little bit of a disconcerting smell that starts, and I'm pretty sure that's a combination of the materials off-gassing while it gets warmer on the inside. I'm gonna open this up and take a quick look. I have looked inside already, and there doesn't seem to be any smoke on the inside. Seems like the entire exhaust system is completely sealed. However, I think I will get exhaust tape and tape every single one of the joints and then reclamp them, just as an extra level of surety that there's not any exhaust fumes on the inside being able to come into the intake for the hot air. So anyway, the booklet isn't very explanatory about how to use this thing, and it seems as though there's multiple timers that you can set, but I'm not entirely certain how that works, because instead of the timer going down, it seems to go up. So I'm gonna have to reread the booklet and see what exactly, how these settings actually work. I've already read it, and like I said, it's not very definitive. So maybe I'll go on YouTube and I'll see if somebody else has figured this out. But so far, so good. Okay, so I just got it open here, guys, and everything's looking pretty good. There's no smoke. Temperature-wise, this thing is hardly cold or hardly hot at all. Everything seems to be working pretty good. I don't know if you can hear it on video, but you can hear the little pump ticking away. But it's nowhere near as loud as what I've seen in other videos on YouTube. This one seems particularly quiet, and lots of people were talking about switching them out to other ones. Oh, that was close. That are more quiet. But that being said, is that this seems to be working really well, and the amount of heat that comes out of this thing is pretty extraordinary. I'm going to let this thing run for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then we'll check back with it and see how it's going. Okay guys, so after I had this all set up, I decided that I was going to run it for a full hour, and so that's what I did. And it was about -5 outside. It wasn't terribly cold outside, but I gotta tell you, the amount of heat this thing pumped out was pretty exceptional. It's a little bit concerning how much heat this thing actually pumps out. Anyway, it ran great. I checked it intermittently, and nothing on the inside got hot. Hey guys, Gavin here with FJ Aaron, and we're going to be taking a look at the diesel heater and the problems that we're having. Diesel heater in a box. We have battery pack, aim Tom, and we have Aaron. Hey. Okay, so we're going to be talking about some problems here, and what I'm going to do, best way for me to do that is to actually set this up on the tripod, and we're going to run it through. So I'll see you in a second, guys. Okay guys, so going to give you guys an example of what's going on here, and then I'm going to explain exactly what is going on, and then what the solution is to that. So this Aimtom battery pack is 540 watts, and those 540 watts are spread out within all these charging points. So when it comes to this, which is a 12 volt, the highest capacity wattage out of this section is 90. So what happens when we end up starting to power this up, which I still haven't figured this thing out yet, but I do know that if you just hold on and off, it'll start. So we're going to do that. So when it starts to flash, that's basically starting the sequence of starting this entire thing up. And because it's a diesel heater, it has glow plugs, and those glow plugs have to get hot to a certain degree. So don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but there's a fan that starts on the inside of this, and if you hold your hand up on this side, right, you can actually feel air starting to come out. And you can't see it probably in the video on the Aimtom over there, right, but the wattages are slowly increasing, and we're up to 98 right now, which is exceeding the wattage capability of that one plug in that one section. Then it just shuts right down. So I'm going to do that sequence again, except I'm going to have a close-up on the Aimtom. The Aimtom, I will be doing a review, so watch for that. I just want to get some field work with it first and see how it operates. Okay, guys, so I'm going to reset this circuit, and it's a safety with this battery pack that obviously if you exceed the wattages, it actually shuts down these banks. These banks are, you turn them on by pressing the buttons above, and so all these banks are currently off. This one's flashing because it needs to be reset. So press it twice, reset, light pops back on, and then this is ready to go. So I'm going to start the sequence now. So watch that number there. And it quickly goes up. We're coming up to the threshold of what that plug can do. You know, we've exceeded it. There you go. So now for the solution. Okay guys, so back to the solution to the problem. So obviously this section of the battery pack, the bank here, which is the low voltage section, obviously doesn't have enough watts. However, the entire unit does have enough watts. The next section, again, is basically a low voltage section. However, over here we have 110 AC. And that can basically run household appliances, little tiny mini fridges, things like that. However, obviously you want to keep the wattages low. However, this power bank on this side right here has up to availability of 500 watts. And that 500 watts is going to be obviously what we need. So the correct thing to do here in this situation is, or the solution for this, is that I need to get an inverter that goes from 110 AC down to basically low voltage, 12 volt, and preferably 15 amps, and goes up to 200 watts. Because to start this thing, it takes roughly between 120, 135 sustained wattage to get that going. Now, if you look here on this is the description, and right here it says 12 volt 40 watts. So at the time I had assumed, not knowing or not ever building a diesel heater before, that that's all it would take, which this side would have completely worked fine. but it's because of those startup wattages to get the glow plug hot. So the 40 is in fact its running wattage usage, not its startup usage. So what I did was, thanks to a friend of mine on Facebook, he pointed me in the right direction. I've gone ahead and ordered the inverter, and we're just going to wait for that to come in, and then I'll probably do an addendum to this video, or I'll do another video when I get the inverter. But anyone buying this AimTom needs to be aware of that. The Jackery, which is very similar to this, the Jackery 500, I believe, has slightly higher amperage, and they don't seem to have the problem running it off of the plug because it has a different power system management. Anyway, guys, so that's it.